Make me try to work my phone.
What do you got for me?
It's unusual when a JUCO guy comes over in red shirts. What did you think, Merch? Learned that year, obviously. You had 4 guys on that front that were pretty good for him to learn from.
That was hopefully when we got him the plan. You know, we knew we were losing a lot after them, and to give him the opportunity, one, it usually takes 12 months for a junior college player to truly get acclimated physically because they don't have the training or the nutrition at those schools. And so it helps you. But the learning part of staying behind those 4 guys and seeing how they do their work and how they prepare, I think was really, really good for him. And, you know, he's now carrying that torch, which is fun to see.
They obviously, you guys are good against the run. They run the ball well. You look forward to this challenge?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strength versus strengths in this matchup, and so it's going to be great competition. And as you guys know, I have a lot of respect for Steve, and they have a good offensive line. They have, you know, physical tight ends, big running backs. You know, I think Flowers has made him different offensively at receiver. He's really dynamic wide out for him, so it's a very good offense.
They are going to be playing a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate that means more of A.J. Dillon, or what have you seen from the new quarterback?
No, I mean, you watch him come in the last game, and it was just the same play calls, you know. So obviously I can't predict what they're going to do, but it doesn't look like they're changing their offense with him.
Does he, I mean, he's not as mobile as Brown?
Oh, no, he was a good runner in high school. Yeah, I think he's a dual threat guy, and I'd be shocked if it's any different than what it's been.
When you're facing a running back as good as they have, how much do you use that to motivate your run game that has been good at defending the run?
No, that's absolutely a motivation. I mean, these guys want to play well every week, and you know, if you can hold a back that's as good as him, you know, to less than he's used to having, then that says a lot for you guys and for our guys. And something that anytime you play a guy that's as good as him, and he had a great game against us 2 years ago, so you know, you want to try to do your best not to let that happen.
Is the part of the chess game is which team will have how many guys in the box?
Potentially, you know, I think it's more about just the fundamentals and the techniques and the finish, regardless of the numbers you put in there. You know, you've got to win. If you're on defense, you got to be able to win your gap and shed blocks and leverage the football and tackle. And offensively, you got to sustain blocks and finish blocks. So, you know, I think it's a real fundamental football game when you look at the two teams.
Having won there on the road a couple of years ago, does that help in any way, shape, or form to try to kind of get over the hump on the road with this group?
I don't know. I mean, not many of these guys were there, you know. Not many of them were there. So it's the next step for this, you know, this young football teams. They got to be able to play the way they do at home on the road.
Are you guys expecting to have Chris Ingram with you and ready to play?
I'm not going to talk about it.
Do you think the alignment switch has helped Merch? I think he's playing mostly zero technique there, just having the one guy to go against. Do you think that has led to some of his success with the sacks?
He, you know, first and second down, he's playing our 4 and 5 techniques, so he's on the edge, and then third down, he plays the 0 on the center, and you know, moving him around, I think, creates opportunities for him on different players. So not a single guy can get used to how they're going to block him throughout the game. He's on the tackle, he's on the guard, he's on the center. And sometimes he's, you know, stemming from a 0 back out to a 3. And so it's hard for them to get zeroed in on where he's going to be lined up at times. And, you know, when we get into the package where we have Lias and Deontay, you've got really good edge rushers. So it's not like you can just bury everybody down in there and leave those guys alone.
Last year at the big game against Virginia. But did you talk to him at all about being a consistent force each and every game?
I didn't have to. I mean, that's his goal, you know, and so talking to every player on our team at the end of the season, you find out what their goals are for the spring, and then after the spring I meet with them again and ask them what their goals are for the summer and the season, and I don't have to put anything in his mouth. That he's wired the right way.
What have you seen over the last couple of weeks now that he's taking snaps with the ones with Bailey and how much he's progressed here?
You know, both him and Devin have gotten more confident, you know, and the game reps have helped him slow things down. He was competitive at Florida State when he wasn't the starter. You saw his guts in that game, and I thought last week, you know, he came out. He's very level-headed. He's very even-keeled guy. Doesn't get up and down, and I like that in him and Devin. But the more they play, the better they're going to get. They've had a lot of teachable moments now in these last 2 games that can help them.
Just from the way you were talking about Devin, does that mean we might see him again for a series or 2 this week?
Yeah, you will.